At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to take... Oh, something happened here. Oh, bummer. Let's see if we can continue to refresh this. It was a nice little fun, effective thing to show you here, but it's gone. It's gone. It was a beautiful shot here of the lake, Elminor, and the snow that they had going on. It just disappeared on me. And the source, I don't know if it's just gone. Okay, well, let's go then here to Chester. This is looking out at Chester. You can see the snow that we have out there this morning, and there's snowplow. I saw that a little bit earlier, keeping the road clear out there in the Chester area. So yeah, you can already see several inches that have already fallen. This is just the beginning for you in Chester, by the way. I mean, we're talking a lot of snow is heading our way. Not necessarily a ton today, but really as we go into your Tuesday and Wednesday, I think we could see over a foot of snow in places like Chester. Good morning from Trinidad. We got Jackie Dixon checking in this morning. We got a little bit of rain right now still in the valley. Most of the rain has pushed eastward. We saw over an inch of rain in some spots for the valley yesterday and last night combined into this morning. That has since then shifted off to the east. Still a little bit of wet weather out in Glenn, Butte County, eastern Tehama County, and some snow in the eastern mountains this morning, but not very wet elsewhere, right? So there's some of the rainfall totals over the last 24 hours. And again, a little over an inch of rain in most cases, although almost an inch and a half in Chico and Willows, only about a half an inch in Corning, although I'd have to double check that number. But there you can see over an inch in Eureka. Not very much in Crescent City, only about 1,200s, but look at Redway, Garberville, well over 2 inches of rain there. And we do have some chain requirements east of I-5. Snow levels on average, I'd say, are about 3,500 to 4,000 feet. You can also see some chain requirements on Highway 36 as you're approaching Humboldt County in southwestern Trinity County. Also some chain requirements as you head towards the Tahoe region, although looks like interstate, looks like Highway 50 does not have any chain requirements at this point in time, but you can bet that snow is going to get much, much heavier for the Sierra over the next couple of days. There's a look at I-5 near Mount Shasta in the center of your screen there. There was some snow in Mount Shasta City last night and in the ski park. Certainly some good news there. Snowman Summit looks a little slushy out there at 4,500 feet, but there is some snow that we are seeing at Snowman Summit on Highway 89. Hatchet Mountain seeing some snow this morning. If you look on the side of the road there on 299-89, known as the Four Corners, just northeast of Bernie, you can see some of the snow that we're seeing there. That's at 3,100 feet. So I'd be willing to guess and anticipate that Bernie has seen some snow as well. If you live in Bernie, let me know. Cedar Pass, there you can see we're seeing some snow up there. That's not a big surprise. That's over 6,000 feet in elevation. Shingletown at 3,500 feet, looks like in the form of rain, but as you go into upper Shingletown, probably around Viola, you're probably seeing snow, right? Lassen Park, snow. Bogard Ranger Station, snow. No big surprises there. This is where we're seeing chain requirements. And of course, we saw what it looks like in Chester proper, right? So just outside of Chester on the highway there, 4,500 feet, lots of snow. Johnson Grade, 4,800 feet, lots of snow. We got lots of snow for down near Summit already. Again, we're going to be piling up that snow in the next couple of days. Highway 70 at 89 at 2,800 feet. Looks a little snowy there as well, not a ton. Spring Garden, just east of Quincy at 3,800 feet. We're seeing some snow there. By the way, I want to remind you that there's a great resource that I've developed here at Weather NorCal, weathernorcal.com. I'm going to take you to the website. We're going to scroll down here. You click on road conditions. Now, what I like what I've done with road conditions is, number one, you got to quick click into the quick maps. right? And you can check the latest road conditions there. But also, I've taken all the popular cameras. There's I-5, there's a good 89 and 97, some of the cameras seeing what it looks like out there. Looks like, boy, if I'm not mistaken, that looks like a little bit of snow mixed in there at Buckhorn Summit. Now, this would be at the base of Buckhorn Summit that we're seeing, by the way. That's not at the summit of Buckhorn Summit. So are we seeing some snow out in Trinity County this morning? Listen, it's not out of the question. Then we, I'm looking right here at the website, seeing that. I didn't check that this morning. There's Hatchet Mountain. There you can see Cedar Pass. So again, we're looking at a lot of the road conditions here just at a quick glance. Highway 44, there's what we were kind of looking at there. There's Johnson Grade for Donier Summit. That's in Susanville itself right there. And then we've got Janesville and Doyle as well. So yeah, just a great resource. So go to weathernorcal.com, click on road conditions, and you will be good to go right there. Oh, by the way, too, from the app, right? I'm opening up the app. There's the home page. Road conditions. Same thing here at the road conditions. Look at this. You can check out the latest road conditions right there. So those maps that we're looking at just a second ago, you can see that from there as well. All right, so just wanted to share that for you. And let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I also want to remind you, if you live in the mountains and you get lots of snow, take pictures. Send them through the free Weather NorCal app, and you just might see them. I'd love to see your photos. Let me know your location, elevation, and how much snow you've seen. You can look for them on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30 in the morning and on the morning update, and of course on social media. So be sure to check that out as well. You can also watch the latest forecast at the 24-hour streaming channel. It's available on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and anywhere YouTube is available. It's also available on the website and the app. The 24-hour channel is there as well. Just search for Weather NorCal in all of those platforms. All right, let's get you to it. Your Krueger's Quickcast for your Monday, February 16th. By the way, I see your comments. We'll take a look at some of those comments after this Quickcast here. There you can see temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Just people saying good morning. Looks like snow tonight through the week. People asking some questions here. All right, temperatures mid to upper 40s in the valley right now. 30s for many of the higher elevations and low to mid 40s. Okay, let's get you out the door this morning, and a little wet for some of you in the valley. Otherwise dry for Trinity County. Really, honestly, there's not a ton of rain out there right now. Most of it is in the south end of the valley around Chico. As I mentioned earlier, we saw that on the radar, and some snow off in the eastern mountains that we're seeing out there right now. But you head outside of that area, the coast, Trinity County, north end of the valley, Siskiyou County, is dry. Right now, that main band of rain is pushed off to the east and is now down to the south and east of us. But we still got another push of colder air coming in tonight. That's when those snow levels will plummet. So this morning, again, most of the rain, generally even south of Redding, with that heavier snow off to the east. But look at Siskiyou, Trinity, Del Norte, Humboldt. You're not seeing much activity. Now we take into midday, still some snow, and it's going to be piling up. It's down to, 3,500, 4,000 feet. Still that snow in the eastern mountains, but things drying out for the valley. A little bit of rain, a bit of a disturbance pushing through Del Norte. There could be some snow in some of the higher elevations there. Now we take into midday, maybe a little bit of snow at Mount Shasta, and especially the ski park, maybe an isolated shower, maybe a thunderstorm developing for the valley and for parts of the coast. But look at this, it's not widespread. And by the way, we're still seeing that feed of moisture into the eastern mountains, still a lot of snow there. Then another push of snow in the eastern mountains later this afternoon and evening. But overall, west of that, valley, mountains, west, right? Fairly dry. But take a look up at the northwest part of your screen there, right? You see that next push. This is a cold front. It's going to have some winds associated with it. It's going to have much, much colder air associated with it. And that's why tonight into tomorrow morning, look at this. Look at that snow piling up. Now, this is going to create a lot of travel issues. North of Redding on I-5, all of the mountains, even the valley, the north end of the valley around Redding could possibly see some snow tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that in more detail in your deeper dive. A little bit of a teaser. We're going to go into the deeper dive here a little bit later and talk about that. Now, here's the thing. I don't anticipate the winds to be an issue today. Most of the winds that we do see, because there's a wind advisory for today through Wednesday, but not very strong today. We could see gusts upwards of 20, 25 miles an hour for the valley. Then tonight, tomorrow morning, yes, maybe. But still, not a ton of winds. I'm not expecting the winds to be a major, major event. Hey, dust off those snowboards, dust off those skis if you've been waiting for the ski park to open again, because it will most likely open this week. No doubt about it. They're going to see a ton of snow up there. Take a look at the rainfall estimates, or should I say, excuse me, not rainfall estimates. This is the rainfall chances. They kind of fall off a bit here for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, before going back up again by Sunday. But still chances nonetheless. So this is a very active pattern that's moving on in. This is what a lot of you have been waiting for. We need more rain. We need more snow. We're getting it, and we're going to get it this week. Low 50s for today in the valley. Chance for thunderstorms, especially along the coast, but even the valley could see some of those thunderstorms, and snow mainly above 3,500 feet. Now look at the temperatures tonight. This could potentially support snow in the Redding area if we can get down to 33 degrees. Here's the thing though. I may have to adjust those overnight lows for the Redding area because with a strong south wind, that may keep those temperatures up a bit, and it may be harder for us to see that snow. I know, you want the snow, but hold on, because there may be another chance Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So I put in there mix. I meant to put that in for put that in there for Tuesday, not today. Oh my goodness, what did I do? I'm going to go in here. I'm going to change it right now. We're going to go daily. We're going to go into Redding. I don't know what happened. I put the mix in there for Monday. No, not the mix on Monday. The mix will be on Tuesday and Wednesday. Why did I? That's terrible. I can't believe I did that So take the word mix on Monday, push it over to Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday, especially in the morning, and especially in the morning on Wednesday. And I think the better day of the two to see that mix would be on Wednesday. Looks like Red Bluff's adjusted for it. See if Redding does that eventually. There it is. All right, now that's the representation. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We may see a bit of a break, and then a better chance for another round of some heavier rain and mountain snow, and low elevation snow, by the way, as we go into the weekend. All right? I don't expect a mix in Chico. I think you're mainly in the form of rain. Paradise, yeah, I think you could see some snow too. Thunderstorms for the coast, and I think everyone could see that potential for a break. Weaverville, you're going to see snow by tonight, tomorrow. And I think we're going to see some snow for Mount Shasta City already today. We've already seen it. And Alturas and Susanville, all going to see the snow. And it's going to be off and on. Now, you look at this, you're like, wow, every day. No, okay, so here's the thing. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, don't expect much. Just snow flurries here and there. It's Sunday that we could see another round of some of that heavier rain and snow kicking in. Take a look at some of the cameras out there this morning. You can see that it is a little wet down south into Butte County. We've got the wet weather there. This is on Highway 32 and Main Street, Chico. Roads are wet. Yep, I can still see that it is raining in Chico this morning. This is looking at Highway 99 at Neal Road, and the roads are wet there as well. A little breezy too, it looks like. Looks like the roads are wet in Red Bluff this morning. This is on I-5. Taking a look right now at Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. A little wet, but we're not seeing as much rainfall at the north end of the valley as we're seeing down to the south right now. This is looking at Crescent City Harbor District. Looks like the camera did freeze up on me. Wouldn't you know? And then, of course, we can see Bald Hill West. Still some of those low clouds out there and wet. But still not... Oh, look at this, Soda Ridge. We are seeing snow up at that elevation. Turns out to be a gorgeous sight there. Let's see what we got going on here. Taking a look at Fort Jones. Socked in with that fog this morning out in Scott Valley this morning. And look at Lassen camera. Remember last week there was, I think it was somewhere, I'm going to see if you can see my cursor. It was somewhere around here. There was a little bit of a top of a tree. And I said, by the time we get into the weekend, into next week, that top of the tree will be gone. Well, there you go. And there wasn't really any snow on the trees. Now it's getting piled up on the trees. So this is just the beginning that we are seeing in the higher elevations. There's going to be a ton of new snow at Lassen Park. I can tell that much right now. And of course, we saw what it looked like in, let's see if we can put this back up here. Let's see if this will pop back up. It might be here. Is it here? No, it's not that one. I'm really bummed out. There was a camera. Let me do this. Let me see if I can get it here. There it is. Boy, it was coming down a second ago. Looks like it's kind of quieted down, although you can see a little bit of snow. Let me put this on full screen mode here, as you can see here. This is Lake Elminor. Now, this is, of course, you can see the lake there. It's right there on the shore. Beautiful spot, by the way. I believe that's Plumas Pines Resort. Look at the snow. Looks a little wet, right? But you can see, look off to the right. You can see around the trees. You can see that contrast of the snow. There is some snow still coming down this morning there, but you can see underneath the tree, no accumulation. Doesn't look like a ton of snow out there this morning. I'd say a couple of inches may have fallen, if not just about an inch. So very interesting. Now that we're getting a little bit more daylight, let's see if we can see this one here. Yeah, this is coming in. This is in Chester proper at about 4,500 feet. You can see just some of the light snow that they've seen there as well. So kind of fun seeing all that snow out there. I believe, yeah, something happened here. Let's try this again. There it is. Oh, I was going to show you, of course, what it looks like with those chain requirements here this morning too. East of I-5, a lot of chain requirements. Just be aware of that. Let's see. For some reason, it seems to be freezing up on me. So I'm going to go ahead and reload this and get this going again. All right, we're going to take a look now at some of the cameras. Another quick look. I-5 near Mount Shasta City. So Mount Shasta City has seen some snow, just not a ton, right? As you can see there, and it's not accumulating on the highway. Snowman Summit, we can see some of the snow there. Now we're getting a little bit of daylight. You can see a little bit better. Hatchet Mountain, a little slushy there. This is in the center of your screen, known as the Four Corners. It's just northeast of Bernie. That's the intersection of 299 and 89. Then you've got Cedar Pass. Looks a little slushy on Cedar Pass up there. Shingletown, at least Shingletown proper, 3,500 feet, rain, not snow, but upper Shingletown most likely seeing that snow. Lassen Park, and there you can see Beauregard Ranger Station. Looks like they put some sand on the road there. Highway 3689 near Chester. Of course, we saw what it looks like in Chester itself in Lake Elminor, so no surprise there. Johnson Grade, 4,800 feet. We're seeing snow coming down still, and for down your summit, seeing some of that snow too. Let's take a look now at Highway 70, and you can see some of the snow that we're seeing on the side of the road there on Highway 70. And Spring Garden, we got some snow accumulating on the road there, just east of Quincy, 3,800 feet. Well, today is Monday. We've got our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals before we get to the deeper dive. And we're going to be talking about snow, possibly in the valley, folks. So stick around for that. But first, let's take a look at our Wonderful World of Animals. We're going to talk about Nodin, the red-tailed hawk, sponsored by Grange Co-op. Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal, and you are watching Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. I've got Sharon Clay from Turtle Bay over here, and I don't know if it's in the shot here, but we've got, I forgot, it's red-tailed hawk.
Yes, his name is Nodin.
Nodin. Mm-hmm. We've got Nodin here. We're going to see if we can get some action from Nodin today, right?
You want to come over?
This is so cool because it's just like flying right at me.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to do it?
He will. If we give him a second, he'll go. You want to come see us? He's like, no, I don't. He is actually blind in one eye, and so sometimes he has a little trouble focusing in, and his depth perception is off, and that's actually why he's with us at Turtle Bay. He was hit by a car and completely blind in his left eye. His right eye. His right eye.
Look, yeah, I'm not the only one.
Are you going to come over and see us? He says no. So you can tell he's a red tail right now, even though you can't see his tail, because of the dark belly bands. You see that looks like almost like a cummerbund?
Yeah.
That's the field marking for a red-tailed hawk. So when you're driving down the highway and you see kind of a creamyish belly, but red-tailed hawks come in so many color phases. So he's an eastern, so he's a little bit creamier on his belly. Around here, they're going to be a little darker. So you see how his upper part is kind of like that rusty-ish color.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it was like that little darker part of that rusty across the whole thing, it's like that, and even a little darker around here in Northern California. But he's from Michigan. He was hit by a car in Michigan. So he's an Eastern, and they're a lot lighter on their belly. But no matter what, they have that cummerbund, or that what's called a belly band. So that's how you can tell a red-tailed hawk when you're driving down the road, even if you can't see the tail. So let's see if he wants to join us. You want to come over here?
And they're native to this area, right?
They are. So the red-tailed hawk, everyone wants to see up close. That was a great, impressive flight.
Yeah, that was, a whole 2 inches, I think.
It was so impressive.
Yeah.
So
for the record, we did it off camera just to see it first, and did a great job.
Yeah, he was great.
Beautiful, but when the camera's on, they get nervous.
That's what happens. So it's like asking your child to do the alphabet for you, and they won't speak. Yeah, it's like that. So anyway, I don't know what we were saying now. Who knows? Neither one of us knows.
You're talking about the cummerbund.
The cummerbund. So you're driving down the road, you'll see these guys all the time. The red tail, you asked how common they were, is what it was.
Well, they're from California, right?
Yeah, the red tail hawks are the most common hawk in North America. So there's estimated to be over 1 million of them.
Wow.
And there's many, many subspecies like that, or color morphs of them. So again, they all might look a little bit different. They're actually as individually marked as our fingerprints.
Wow.
So no two look identical, but they all have the red tail.
And that's just gorgeous right there. I mean, are there problems with people trying to get their tail feathers and all that stuff?
Well, that's a really good point. So a lot of people like to collect feathers of birds, and it's actually illegal. So it's against the law to possess any feather from any native bird without a permit. So
even if you found the bird on the ground not alive anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's a really important point, because people used to, like you just asked, hunt birds to get their feathers. And then they would put them in hats and fashion and all of this stuff. And we actually sent one bird completely to extinction. The Carolina parakeet went completely to extinction simply because of the fashion industry and killing them for their feathers. So because it's usually an unwitnessed crime, how do we know if you killed that bird to get the feather or if it molted the feather? So in order to protect the birds, they just say, well, you can't have them. And so it's illegal to have any feathers.
Good to know.
Unless you have special permits.
That's interesting. So I think everybody should really know that. That's a really good piece of information. Well, Noden, it was great seeing you. Even though, on camera, maybe we can work on your camera shyness. But look at that chest, just beautiful. So thank you, and thank you, Sharon. And we will see you next time for another edition of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Once again, I want to thank Grange Co-op for sponsoring Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals and the pet family segment in general. And of course, you can always go to the website and check out all of the great segments that we do here with Turtle Bay. Sharon Clay, a lot of fun we have with those animals. All right, take a look at this before we get to the forecast, before we get into all of this. Just kind of a quick reminder of where we were a few weeks ago. Remember the spring-like weather? We started to see things begin to blossom, wildflowers, almond blossoms as well. By the way, Thursday, we're going to have a special ag report coming in from Jerry O'Lennon, who's going to be talking about the almond blossoms having bloomed early and what that's going to mean for the crop. It's kind of interesting, so you want to check that out. By the way, I want to thank Steve Cook for sending in that photo. He used the free Weather NorCal app, and you can do the same. And I want to see your snow photos, by the way, when we start seeing more of that snow. And by the way, Coffee with Krueger would not be possible without our sponsor, and that is Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So here's what we've got. We've got high impact snow over the next few days with that lower elevation thunderstorms, gusty winds at times, especially for the valley. But I don't expect it to be a major wind event. I expect a possible break, maybe even as early as Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but still a chance for a few snow flurries, still a chance for a few showers. But I think really the main rain and snow event is going to be, especially tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Although with the eastern mountains, you're already beginning to see that here for today. So let's get into all of that in our deeper dive forecast and talk about that potential for valley snow, That's all coming up in our Deeper Dive forecast, sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids.
Hearing loss can creep in little by little until one day you realize something's been missing. It's not about things being louder, it's about the moments that slip by. The joke you didn't quite catch, the quiet I love you, or the conversations with your kids that deserve the full attention. At Shasta Hearing Aids here in Redding, we believe hearing aid care should feel personal. Through compassionate care, a comprehensive hearing aid screening, and technology tailored to your lifestyle, we help you reconnect to what matters most. Schedule your free hearing aid evaluation today.
Oops, I caught myself. Of course, I had to just kind of check something to make sure that the speaker wasn't on so we get feedback. All right, anyway, here we go. So here's what was going on. Last night, we saw the rain, and it was pretty heavy at times for some of us in the valley. But now you can see it's starting to taper off, some light showers in Butte County right now. We're seeing the snow off in the eastern mountains, and that's, of course, where we saw that in Lake Almanor. Chester is seeing some of that snow, and of course other areas are seeing snow in the eastern mountains this morning as well. In the meantime, we've got drier weather for the rest of the valley, drier weather northward, drier weather even for the coast, but you can see that next round that is going to be coming in here later this morning. So what we've got here, this is the area of low pressure right here that brought us the rain we saw yesterday, last night, and this morning. As that moves on out, we're going to be between systems, and that's why we're seeing the drier weather for many areas. But this right here is what I've got my eyes on. This is going to be the next shot of cold air coming in later tonight and early tomorrow morning, and that is when we start to see some of the lower snow levels, travel impacts for everybody in the mountains. Everybody, all right? It's not just going to be east of I-5. It's going to be on I-5 north of Redding. It's going to be in Trinity County, even in Del Norte County, seeing that around Collier Pass, right, or Collier Tunnel. But there you can see right here, that's the trough of low pressure. We're seeing a series of storms coming through. Right here, we go into Tuesday. We take you into your Wednesday, another shot coming in for Wednesday. And then looks like a bit of a break come Thursday, Friday, but I still think we could see a chance for a stray sprinkle, a stray shower, a stray snow flurry in the mountains, and then going into especially the second half of this upcoming weekend, we've got another round coming on in, and they're cold, which means low snow levels once again this upcoming weekend and into early next week. In fact, you can see here, as we go into Monday, Tuesday, still that shot of cooler air. There is going to be a little bit of tap of moisture coming in from the subtropics, so it may be a little bit warmer in some spots. But taking a look at this, right? Today, you've got a chance for thunderstorms for the valley. You've got a chance for thunderstorms along the coast. That's the case again tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center is backing off on thunderstorms on Wednesday for the valley, but still keeping that chance there for the coast on Wednesday. However, I still got a chance for thunderstorms in the valley on Wednesday. We certainly can't rule that out. Okay, so let's get you through all of this. There's a lot to talk about here. First and foremost this morning, this is where we're seeing the bulk of the snow this morning, and that's where we're seeing most of the chain requirements. A lot of the rain has tapered off this morning for the valley, but look at this. It's not actually going to be, minus the snow we're going to see in the mountains here in the east, it's not going to be a very active day, folks. You've got some breaks in the clouds, maybe a few stray sprinkles through the morning hours. We've got a line pushing through here. This may bring some snow out into western Siskiyou County. And then we go into around 4 o'clock this afternoon, maybe some snow around Mount Shasta City, but not a lot. Maybe some snow out at the ski park, but not a ton. We've also got some stray showers, possible thunderstorms by the time we do get into this afternoon and evening for the valley and for the coast. But look, a lot of dry slots in there. So some of us are going to make it through the day without seeing much rain at all. But this is what I was talking about, that colder air beginning to move in by the time we go into tonight and early tomorrow morning. Now this is midnight tonight. We're seeing that push, that surge of colder air coming on in, and that's going to really lower the snow levels. Now notice too, when you get into the darker blues, that's the heavier snow. So this is when we start seeing those mountain passes really begin to take shape and get a lot of snow on them, and that's going to create those travel delays. There you can see your morning commute. It is going to be a snowy one in the mountains for everyone in the mountains, including on I-5. And look at that horseshoe of the snow surrounding the valley and heavy rain in the valley. We're going to take a closer look at Redding here. We're going to zoom it in on in after we take a look at this and talk about that potential for snow in Redding here in just a bit. But there you can see we go into about midday Tuesday. There you can see the chance with showers and thunderstorms in the valley. Still a lot of snow. It's going to be off and on snow, but it's kind kind of these spurts of heavy snow downpours in some of the higher elevations. This is going to be great news. I think this is the day that the ski park will really start to see a lot of that snow come in tonight and through the day tomorrow. Scattered showers, thunderstorms for the coast, scattered showers and thunderstorms for the valley. Now we take you into Tuesday afternoon. Mainly some of the snow flurries that we're going to see. It's beginning to taper off a little bit. And then you can see another surge coming in late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, once again very close to the Redding area. Once again, we'll talk about that here in just a second. And there you can see the heavy snow we're seeing in the mountains. More travel delays tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, including west of I-5. But as we go through the day on Wednesday, what we're looking at here is things begin to kind of another surge coming in. So there's midday Tuesday, more snow and more heavy snow at times, more rain and showers and possible thunderstorms in the valley, and more possible showers and thunderstorms for the coast. We still see that surge even going into Wednesday afternoon. A lot of snow in the mountains, showers, thunderstorms for the coast, showers and thunderstorms for the valley. And look at this. By the time we get into Thursday, it's beginning to taper off. Now we're seeing a few isolated snow flurries. Looks dry in the valley, but still some scattered showers for the coast Thursday morning. By Thursday, around the afternoon, you see what's happening. We're seeing the snow flurries. There may be a stray shower for the valley. There may be a stray shower for the coast as we go through Thursday afternoon and into Thursday night. And then I think we'll see probably a little bit of a break, but still a chance for a few snow flurries even as we go into Friday. All right. Whew. Now let's talk about the snow possibility in Redding. All right, so here's Redding. Here's this morning. I don't expect any snow today, just an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Let's stop it at early tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. A couple things I want to point out. Number one, see the winds? This is when I expect some of the strongest winds, which will be late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and they're going to be south winds. When we have south winds during these winter events, it doesn't tend to support very much snow, or at least accumulating snow in the valley. So that's one thing to take into account. But what I am looking at, what I am seeing is if we indeed see it, this intensity, that is, this is heavy rain that we're seeing here, by the way. If it's indeed this heavy, what tends to happen, especially in the early morning hours, is if it's really heavy and it's because it's starting off as snow in the higher elevations. Then what happens is it gets in the warmer air mass over us, that snow melts and it turns to rain. So sometimes, number one, if that snow is really heavy, it doesn't have time to melt. So we see snowflakes. But typically in a situation like that, you're not going to see much in the way of accumulation, if any. If you do, it's a brief spout of maybe minor accumulations, especially on the grassy areas, but not necessarily the roads. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of favor for at least accumulating snow for early tomorrow morning. But we're seeing a lot of that snow, as we saw, for the mountains. Now, I would anticipate that there's a better chance for accumulating snow as we go into Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. This is midnight tomorrow night. Look at the snow, right? City of Shasta Lake, Redding, Old Shasta, Palisadro, maybe even the Anderson area seeing that potential of some of that snow as well. But one thing I want to point out, look where the winds are coming from the south. This happened exactly last year. You may recall we saw south winds around the Anderson area, but more of a north wind in Redding. It was that north wind area where we saw that accumulating snow in Redding, but we didn't see it in Anderson. So these winds are going to be the key as to whether or not we can get any kind of snow accumulating on the ground, even the roads, by the time we go into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. This right here, I think, would be that best window of opportunity for us to see that snow in the Redding area. And then I'd say by the time we get into Thursday, it's going to just turn over to, things kind of tapering off, and it's not going to be as much of, something that we'll be watching. All right, rainfall estimates. Initially, we were talking about we're going to see a ton of rain. I don't think so. Here's the deal. The heaviest rainfall that we did see was last night and early this morning. That brought us over an inch of rain. Thing is, as you saw, we're not really seeing any widespread long periods of rainfall, just scattered showers, pockets of heavy rainfall at times, and the potential for thunderstorms, which could bring us potential for heavy rainfall at times as well. So I would anticipate that from now through Thursday, a half an inch to an inch in the valley. A half an inch to an inch in the valley. For the coast, maybe a bit more than that, maybe an inch to maybe even close to 2 inches in some spots here. Now I want to show you another forecast model. It's a little bit more aggressive for the coast. I think that might be too much. But yeah, half an inch to about an inch in the valley. I think it's pretty good representation right there through Thursday and Friday. All right, let's talk about the winter weather, winter storm warning that is for all the areas in pink. We also have a winter weather advisory. Do note, and I'm not going to ignore it, winter weather advisory all along the coast. Not for snow though. It's going to be for the potential for accumulating hail. We've got those thunderstorms in the forecast there, and that's why. So, general overview of snow. Okay, let's talk about that. This winter storm warning, by the way, is through 10 p.m. Wednesday, in some cases Thursday morning. But there you can see 2,000 to 2,500 feet, 6 to 12 inches of snow. As you get to 2,000 feet, you're closer to 6 inches. As you get closer to, say, 3,000 feet, you're closer to 12 inches of snow. And again, keep in mind, this is through Wednesday into Thursday morning. All right, 2,500, 3,500 feet, 1 to 2 feet of snow. All right, so as you get lower amounts, right, as you get 3,500 feet or higher, so that puts us in the, say, Mount Shasta City area. Are you going to see 4 feet of snow? Probably not. As we get north, we're just not seeing as much moisture. So as a result, probably not as much snow. But I do think the ski park is going to see a ton of snow. And where we're really going to see most of the snow is going to be here. Southern Cascades, Northern Sierra in particular. But I do think we could see a significant amount of snow in Trinity County, especially as you go above, say, 3,000, 3,500 feet. But Hayfork, Weaverville, let me tell you something. I would say minimum 6 inches of snow once all is said and done, but it could be more than that. All right. A couple of other areas I don't want to forget, because some people say, I want you to mention my town. Bernie, I think you're going to see some snow. But even Hoopa, out towards Gas Key, we could certainly see that potential. Willow Creek, maybe not Garberville. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at, just kind of stop you at different points in time. 5 p.m. today, most of it, as you can clearly see, is off to the east. We may see some minor accumulating snow in Mount Shasta City, maybe near Bernie, Shingletown. But it's tonight, tomorrow morning. That's the key. This is when now we're going to see a lot of snow in the mountains, and that's going to create travel delays. So at this point, by 6 a.m., we're talking 2 to 4 inches in Hayfork. Now, keep in mind, I think the forecast model might be overdoing it a bit for areas off to the west. All right? So I want to show you here as we go into about through Thursday. To say 8 to 12, it may be more like 6 to 8. If we see a foot of snow, I'd say you'd be lucky at that point for Hayfork, Weaverville. But you're going to see accumulating snow, no doubt there. That might be overdoing it. That's overdoing it. That's not. And I don't think that's overdoing it either. And then we're doing pretty well here. Might be overdoing it for Bernie, but not overdoing it here. You're going to see several feet of snow. Places like Chester, several feet of snow. And then, of course, southward into the Sierra as well. In fact, let's take a look at the road conditions here as we go through the day today. Not so bad. It's mainly to the east here. By tonight, by tomorrow morning, look what happens. Look at it fill up everywhere. The darker blue, that's heavy snow. That's just snow in general. But you can see this everywhere. Buckhorn Summit, Scott Mountain, Lassen Park. Of course, that's closed already. But there's Bogard Ranger Station, Cedar Pass, right? But Hatchet Mountain, Buckhorn Summit, Berry Summit, Oregon Mountain, right? Highway 36 West. Just everywhere. I-5 around Mount Shasta City, even Dunsmuir, maybe Lakehead, seeing some of that as well. There are going to be chain checks. They're probably going to stop traffic, at the very least, at Ferndale exit, north of Reading, 10 miles north of Reading. Maybe even a closure. We'll see how much snow we end up with tonight and tomorrow morning. Look at all that snow in the Sierra. This is great news for all of the ski resorts. And of course, see plenty of snow if you're traveling in the Sierra. Pack the chains. Don't travel if you don't have to. But if you're a total ski bum, then make sure you've got the proper equipment to travel in that kind of weather, because it's not going to be safe. Here's a look at what the wind advisory here for the valley. I don't anticipate this to be a big wind event today, not so much. I think the strongest winds will be tonight into tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at the forecast winds today at 6 p.m. Nothing really standing out. But tomorrow morning, maybe 20, 30 miles per hour. And then, of course, as we go into Tuesday afternoon, the winds start to die down, and then maybe some more winds again on Wednesday with that next system pushing on through, but they should die down again here by the time we get to Thursday night. All right, so this is looking at just the strongest wind that we'll see from now through Thursday night. You see, it's just not terrible. You start getting into the reds here. That's in the 40-mile-an-hour range. So here's the deal. I don't think it's going to be a major wind event, but there may be some broken tree branches for some areas that do see some of the stronger gusts. Maybe a weak tree, saturated ground, may see a downed tree. Slight chance for maybe a few power outages. But at this point, as I mentioned, I don't anticipate a ton of wind. Much, much colder. Remember a few weeks ago, like in the low 70s? Not the case now. We're back down to the 40s. We do warm up a little bit, though, by the end of the weekend and early next week. And the lake levels are still very healthy, and that's to be expected. We're going to start to see them probably rise here over the next few days as we start to see more and more of that rain. Now, the wave height's not that bad today, but there is a small craft advisory, so you can bet there's going to be another one tomorrow because the wave heights are going to be increasing for tomorrow. All right, so your marine forecast, northwest winds at about 15 to 20 knots. There's a look at your waves and that small craft advisory. So your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Let's take you right into it, and we're going to take a look at Trinity County. Now, when you look at the 7-day forecast, it looks pretty bad. Keep in mind, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there will be still a little bit of leftover activity here and there, but nothing quite to the extent that we're going to see tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where you see the kind of the clouds and the rain, just off and on chances, right? And then Sunday is going to be another round coming on in, which would also include into early next week as well. And I think that's going to be the case for everyone in Northern California. We're just not going to see as much activity by the time we get into Thursday, most likely Friday and Saturday, and then, as I mentioned, by Sunday. So there's the Eastern Mountains, 39 for Westwood, 47 out in Paradise. You're going to see snow through a good portion of the day today in many of the Eastern Mountains, and that's going to keep those chain requirements fairly active. Temperatures are going to be the low 50s for the south end of the valley. You're starting to dry things out now. I still think there's going to be a chance for a shower or even a thunderstorm today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And again, you can see here, you see how the rain disappears Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because it'll probably be drier than it will be wet Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the valley. Better chance for rain by Sunday. There's those low to mid 50s for the valley today. That's Red Bluff, by the way, at 52 degrees. And I got that mix in there for your Tuesday. Not necessarily for Red Bluff, but probably more like Redding. We'll see that potential for that mix, especially tomorrow morning. And if we want to talk about the potential for accumulating snow in Redding, it would be late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, but nothing guaranteed at this point. So a lot of things to monitor here. We're really not in the thick of it yet. We're going to be in the thick of it this time tomorrow, bottom line, because that's when we start to see the lower snow levels and the big impacts that we are going to see. All right, so I'm going to check in with some of you this morning here. I'm going to check in with, is that Jerry Bay? Is that Jerry Bay from Budget Blinds? I can't tell if that's you or not. How's it going, Jerry? Good to see you, buddy. Catherine Schmidt, we've got good morning from Catherine Schmidt. We've got Rebecca Lynn saying, good morning from Paradise. Boy, did it rain last night. Are we going to see snow this week? Yes, Rebecca, I think you will. I think your best chance will be, as I mentioned, probably tonight, tomorrow morning, and then again going into tomorrow night and Tuesday morning as well. So yes, I think you're going to see some snow. I hope Friday is better weather. Shasta High School is hosting Masters Wrestling Championship. Cool. So you're probably heading out here to Shasta High School. Good. Welcome to the Redding area on Friday. And yes, the weather will be better on Friday. So you can look forward to that. We've got Edeline Swafford. Say, good morning, Mike. Thank you for the weather news up here in Redding. Got coffee in hand and guessing it will be a little chilly here today. I got my coffee too. It rained here last night. Of course, it rained in Redding and the Valley in general last night. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting week, folks. And you're going to want to keep it right here to Weather NorCal. I will be, of course, updating everything over the next several days. By the way, I will be off at noon and 6 p.m., but no need to worry. We're still going to provide you with the forecast. As you know, I've got another meteorologist, Aurora Murray. She's been kind of doing some part-time work for me. As Weather NorCal grows, I'm hoping to get her more full-time. But in the meantime, she will be giving you the forecast at noon and 6 o'clock this evening. I will continue to give you updates throughout the morning, but she will be here for you this afternoon and evening. And of course, I'll be back in full force by the time we get into tomorrow. And you can bet that we're going to be talking about big time snow, big time chain requirements, the works as we go into tomorrow morning. So be prepared for that if you have to travel in the mountains. Looks like we've got Red checking in saying, good morning. When I look up weather forecast, it keeps changing, saying calling for snow. So I guess we will just wait. Thanks for the update. Oh, yeah, it depends. It just depends on which source you look at. Let me see what the native app is saying. If I go to Reading, it should say something along that lines, right? Hourly, All right. Showing mainly rain. Interesting. But let's see what the native app has to say. Give me a second here. We just get so many apps. Remember when we first had phones, it was like you were lucky if you had an app or, you know, a third-party app. It was all the native apps. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, not showing any snowflakes on the native app either. So it just depends on where you are. All right, so there you go. Well, that's going to do it for us this morning. As I mentioned, I will be off at noon and 6 p.m., but no need to worry. Meteorologist Aurora Murray will keep you updated with all the latest information, latest forecast model data, what our chances for snow are looking like, and all of that. And I will be in, I tell you right now, I'm going to be probably not getting much sleep tonight because I'm going to be keeping a close eye on things very closely. Lynn is saying, good morning. Rain is the story today in West Reading. Well, that's the story today. In West Reading tomorrow morning, maybe not so much. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. All right, we're going to leave you with a couple of photos, a couple of images, and we'll also take a look at some of these other cool. Oh, look at this. Oh, check this out. This is cool. This is looking out at Chester this morning. And there you can see the snow is beginning to come down. This right here is what we're talking about. This is just the beginning. We're beginning to see that snow really begin to pile up. Let's see if we can get this camera up too. Let's see how it looks in, it's still coming down. Doesn't look to be quite as heavy out in Lake Almanor. This is the Plumas Pines Resort, but still pretty cool. I love that. That's beautiful. Oh man, it's coming down, What, 4,500 feet in Chester. So we've got snow levels, I'd say a little bit lower than that. So we're going to leave you with these images and other images across the region. In the meantime, have yourselves a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow morning right here on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30 in the morning, where we're going to be tracking snow galore. And by the way, remember, use the free Weather NorCal app to take pictures of the snow where you are. Let me know where you are, your elevation, how much snow that you've seen. Send it through the free Weather NorCal app, and you just might see it tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow morning.